Hi everyone, Tim Brown. Welcome back to my Apple Podcast, the podcast that makes a personal connection to everything Apple. Okay, so it's Christmas time and everyone probably has that new iMac or that new MacBook Pro and you're trying to figure out what to do with it. Well, the first thing you want to learn, in my opinion, so that you can master your workflows when using these very powerful computers is how to use the trackpad. Now, before I go into details on how to use it, some basic warnings. Do not eat chocolate while using the trackpad because you're just going to get chocolate smudges all over your computer. It's going to be a mess. Yes, chocolate is very good, but you don't want to be eating chocolate while you're using your trackpad. Too good. And secondly, stay away from potato chips. Potato chips are a mess, as you know. They're addictive. You cannot stop eating them. Eat them on the side before you work on your computer, or at least remember to wash your hands after eating potato chips because potato chips just get in the way. They have salt, they have all kinds of seasonings and what have you. There's nothing worse than eating potato chips and taking your gummy hands and then rubbing it all over your trackpad. It just doesn't work that well. So stay away from potato chips. Essentially, you just want to avoid using your hands in any messy sort of way. Even some of those things that we just use subconsciously without even thinking about it, like picking our nose, for example. I mean, you don't want boogies all over the trackpad. I mean, you just don't want to be doing that. Okay, all joking aside, let's get down to the business of using the trackpad, that is the Magic Trackpad or the trackpad that comes with your MacBook Pro. Okay, the first thing you want to do is open System Preferences. Here in System Preferences, you will find Trackpad with all the detailed instructions for how to set things up, as well as how to use all the different gestures. Let's just start with the first one and work our way down. Tap to click. Tap to click is pretty straightforward. As you can see on the screen, you're just tapping the trackpad like so. This is what enables you to initiate different functions without having to actually press down real hard onto the computer. You're just tapping. So for example, if I was to go back and forth between browsers here, I would just tap rather than pressing and clicking. That just allows things to go a lot smoother. Of course, you don't have to use this function. You can just deselect it if you prefer not to operate in that manner. I love tap to click, so I'm going to keep it selected. You notice I had to press down to select it because tap to click was disabled. Another very nice option to use is 3-finger drag. Now this comes deselected when you first open System Preferences. I decided to select it because it really does help with my workflows. For example, with 3-finger drag selected, I can take 3 fingers and just move things around on the screen. With 3-finger drag selected, it almost functions like a cursor. For example, if I wanted to take this movie clip and make it shorter, I can do that with 3-finger drag. I can just take my 3 fingers and just drag along the track. This is a lot more convenient as opposed to if I didn't have 3-finger drag selected. Let me just go back to System Preferences for a moment. If I decide to deselect 3-finger drag, I would have to hold down with my thumb and then drag with my finger like so. Whereas with 3-finger drag, it's so much easier. See, I can't do it now, so I'm going to go back and select 3-finger drag. And I'm using 4 fingers to swipe back and forth between windows. And I'm going to show you how to do that in a moment. Now with 3-finger drag selected, I can now use 3 fingers and drag back and forth. So that's very convenient. And again, it helps to make the workflow a whole lot easier. Now under more gestures, there's a really nice feature called swipe between pages and swipe between full screen apps and so forth. So let's go ahead and examine both of those. Right now, I'm using 4-finger swipe between pages. So with 4 fingers, I can swipe between windows, which is really nice. This is a great way to help navigate between all of my open applications. So for example, if I swipe upward with 4 fingers, again, depending on the option that you have, it may be 3 fingers. You swipe upwards and you have mission control, and here you can rearrange where you want your windows to appear, for example. Or you can just use this as an opportunity too to open up a new window. So right now I'm using 4 fingers to swipe back and forth between windows. Again, depending on your settings, because I selected 3-finger drag, I have to use 4 fingers to swipe back and forth. If I was not using 3-finger drag, then it would be 3 fingers. You'll get used to it after a while, but you'll see how much easier it is to navigate through different applications. So for example, here's my YouTube channel I have set up. And you can use, instead of 4 fingers, 3 fingers to swipe back and forth between, 2 fingers to swipe back and forth between pages. So with 2 fingers, I'm just going back and exploring my history, my browsing history basically. Just taking me back and forth. This works very well in Safari, by the way. So here I can go back and forth and explore all the pages that I browse while on Facebook. Just swiping back and forth with 2 fingers. And of course, the very common gesture that everyone uses, that everyone becomes familiar with, is the 2-finger scroll. With 2 fingers, you can scroll up and down any page. And again, that helps to improve workflows as well. So you have 2-finger scroll, have 4-finger swipe up for mission control, 4-finger swipe back down. I have 4-finger swiping across between pages or between applications. You have 2 fingers to swipe back and forth between web pages. So as you can see, gestures make your life a whole lot easier. This is something you want to master when you get your new Mac. Now let's go back to 3-finger drag once again. I'm going to show you just how convenient this feature really is. I'm going to demonstrate how you can move things around with 3 fingers as if you were using your cursor or your thumb and 4-finger to move things around on the trackpad. So I'm going to go ahead and swipe up with 4 fingers, and I'm going to select this window on the end here where I've set up a collage app for the desktop, for the Mac. And I'm going to show you how I can navigate through this application using 3 fingers. So first thing I want to do is I want to bring the window up a little smaller. So I'm going to go down to the corner here where I can see the symbol, cursor symbol has changed. That gives me the indication that I can use 3 fingers and then swipe up. So right now I'm using 3 fingers to reshape this window. I'm then going to grab the top part of this application and then drag it to where I want it to go. Here you see I have another window set up of Bizarre collages. These are collages I created with the Bizarre application for the iPhone and iPad. And I want to create a collage out of these collages. So I'm going to take my 3 fingers and I'm just going to drag them right to the area where I want them to go. It's that simple. 3-finger drag. And what's unique to this application is the ability to use the command and space bar to resize and move things. But with 3 fingers, I actually don't have to do, this is what I would normally have to do if I wasn't using 3-finger drag. I would click command, press and hold, and then use my 4-finger to resize. This is what I would do if I didn't have 3-finger drag. Now let's see the difference when I use 3-finger drag. I'm going to press command, and then use 3 fingers and just swipe. So I've actually cut down on the use of the 2 fingers here to press down and hold, and then using my thumb to move it around. Instead, I'm just using 3-finger swipe. Likewise, this application allows you to use the space bar to move things around. So for example, I'll go ahead and enlarge this. I just say I wanted to move this around. I would typically use the space bar, press and hold, and then use my forefinger to move it around like so. Well, now I can use 3-finger drag to do the same thing. So 3-finger drag really offers a lot of convenience and really adds to the ease of use in terms of your workflows and how you navigate within an application and between applications and between windows. So 4-finger swiping between windows. We have the 2-finger swipe back and forth between open windows in a browser. 4-finger swipe upwards to hit mission control. 4-finger swipe downwards. You can also use and 2-finger scroll, and you can reverse the direction depending on what direction you want to use. I prefer it this way. And then there's also the 3-finger thumb pinch, which is how you access Launchpad. So with 3 fingers and thumb, you can access your applications and then use 2 fingers like you did in Safari to swipe back and forth between windows. And then use the 3-finger thumb to pinch back outward to return. Again, all of the instructions for learning how to use the trackpad can be found in System Preferences, and as you can see, they even have video diagrams to walk you through all of the features. I hope those tips were useful. This is Tim Brown. Thanks for tuning in for another episode. Now that I can finally grab me some chocolate because I think I'm done using my trackpad for the day. I love chocolate.